Do you think Becton will make a stink about moving back to right tackle when Brown comes back? Salah's best 5 comment makes this sound inevitable.
Oh man, it's a very interesting thing. I lean towards them not like messing things up, while also I know how much Salah and the coaching staff likes and values Duane Brown. And if Duane's like, I'm not doing anything other than left tackle, like I don't know if he would do that or not, but he has never played another position before, and
that's the thing, right? Is
he's
he
as
how
old as
can
Aaron
you throw
Rodgers.
A guy who's never played?
Yeah. So I don't really have a great prediction for how it's going to go, especially because they have so many other moving parts in the offensive line right now. With Tittman injured, like can Brown play guard? Like Jason Peters played guard later in his career.
I was just going to say that Jason Peters had never played guard, and he just stepped in last year and did it.
Yeah, and it would be hard sell, especially with this fan base, to move Mekhi Becton. I don't think he's been as good as the perception. I think he's been, good though, and he's gotten better as the season has gone. I think he has like those huge blocks and those highlight reel ones that get highlighted by like Brian Baldinger. But he also like has some misses throughout the game. But he is very inexperienced is another key part of that. But the talent is obviously there. I would probably keep him at left tackle and either experiment with Duane at right tackle or right guard, or just like have Duane be the backup until or unless somebody else gets hurt, because you assume somebody will at some point. Like ultimately they have to decide if the best 5 thing is what he means, then maybe that does lead to Mekhi to the right tackle, because I feel like Mekhi and Duane you're probably feel better about than Mekhi and Max Mitchell, at least the coaching staff would. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting spot. I know the fan base is very much soured on Duane Brown, and I get it based on like, what happened in those first couple of weeks. But I don't know. This team loves Duane Brown. He's still around the team. He could have, again, retired if he wanted to, and he's still here. So I have a hard time thinking they wouldn't put him back on the field, but I don't really feel like confident that he's going to be a starter right away either. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play it.
Yeah, I just wouldn't mess with the kind of – they have looked a lot better the last few weeks. I know they gave up some sacks last week. They've played, I think – the one thing you can defend Brown is he came off 0 training camp and by PFF metrics faced the hardest matchups of anybody in the NFL the first 2 weeks. So maybe he'd be better, but at the same time, Mekhi's looked much better. He feels like he's gotten better each week. Laken Tomlinson's playing by far the best football he's played as a Jet, and I don't think it's a surprise that it's next to Becton. I feel like they've kind of there was a stunt the Eagles ran, and the Jets have been horrible at picking up stunts for probably 12 years, and not only did Mekhi pass it off well, but Laken full pancake. I was like, wait, did they just pick up a stunt and flatten somebody? This is very unique for a Jets, offensive line. So I don't know, maybe roll with it this week. If they look really good this week, or
then you can't change it. Yeah,
you got to then I don't know. Mekhi hasn't been durable his whole career. Maybe there's a chance he could get hurt, or Max Mitchell has gotten banged up pretty much, his entire time here. Who knows? And, it really depends on Tittman, because if Tittman comes back, I don't, even if it's next week or something, the best 5 is pretty clearly involving Tittman, Becton, and Tomlinson. McGovern, I think, is by far their biggest issue on the offensive line. But
I think Laken's been better than the fans. The fans don't talk about him when they don't hear about him.
Because he makes a lot of money. It's the same thing with CJ Mosley, right?
Well, it's funny. I don't think we mentioned his name all of training camp.
Yeah, which is great.
He's just there, right?
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, it really is. It always winds up coming down to where a guy's drafted and money. And I do think about and I'm sure we'll talk about it later in the week. I always think about Leonard Williams at that, because I feel like he's a guy that's been pigeonholed because of both his draft position and his and the money he's made. But I think in terms of just being an NFL player, he's a very good NFL defensive lineman, and one of the few picks I think the Jets, you could argue, got right. I think fans hated on him when he was here because he wasn't getting sacks. And I think he's kind of gotten a little bit back to that with the Giants, where he's getting a lot of pressure, but no sack. I just think he's a solid defensive tackle. And so I think sometimes you have to remove what you're paying a guy and what they were drafted. And
I don't know. Why does it bother everybody so much how much these guys get paid?
It's a very good point. Yeah.
CJ Mosley's been awesome here for a long time now, and he's good every year. He plays every game.
And is he supposed to say no when they offer him? You know what they offer him?
We're gonna restructure your contract and front load you $21 million. That's gonna balloon your cap number in 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You can be mad at Mike McCagnon, but also where would this team be without CJ Mosley? He's as much of a leader as Aaron Rodgers was, and just leadership. Quincy Williams basically shadowed him for the last year to learn from it. Quincy would not be as good as he is without CJ Mosley. I think fans need to appreciate it.
2 years ago, CJ Mosley is yo, you're running here. He's like, okay. and then would like it. That's literally how it went. And like, I don't know. I never understood that. Like, I understand the contract. Even like a Laken was not good last year. Like by any metric, he was not a good player last year. He's durable, but like wasn't good. He was making a lot of money. I understand Brandon Sheriff was better, but like I don't know. At this point, I'm not telling everyone how to, obviously it's a cap sport and whatever, but
yeah,
I don't know. CJ Uzomah is by far their third best tight end, and he makes almost double-digit millions of dollars a year. He's on the books for $11 million next year.
Yeah, but it's Joe Douglas. That's Joe Douglas's fault for giving that much money to a blocking tight end. It's not.
Yeah, who's not that good at blocking.
Like, it's not his fault. He's not what they paid for necessarily. Like, that's the thing. Like, I get being frustrated with players, and when a guy doesn't play well, I get criticized because I don't think Laken played well last year either. But, yeah, like the money part shouldn't be a part of the criticism, and I get it. Like, it's as people are saying, like there's a salary cap, which is why, like, okay, we're paying this guy this much money. Why isn't he amazing? But I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. You pay what you're off. You take the contract you're offered. Like, you're not going to ask for less money. But like, I don't think I deserve that.
Yeah, so. I'm just saying this year, like I still see people like CJ's overpaid. I'm like, dude, like he's really good. He's an All-Pro last year, and he's on one of the 3 or 4 best defenses in the NFL, and he's probably going to be an All-Pro again this year. And he's like, if the Jets. I've said this for a while now. CJ Mosley is like 1 or 2 All-Pros from being a potential Hall of Fame guy. And like, he's the guy around the league. Like, he was one of the first names that came here and has been good and was like really well respected around the league. And people were like, oh, he took the money, but now he's kind of embodied the Jets kind of culture. I feel like everything revolves around CJ. I know Rodgers this year, obviously it's much more about Aaron, but
defensively, like
CJ's the heartbeat of that team. Like that peanut punch he had on, against the Eagles, like that's his picture perfect. He's going to play linebacker in the NFL. Like, literally read that play perfectly and just punched the ball out with a clean left hook. That was pretty awesome. And he talks a lot of trash, by the way, which I did not realize.
Well, him and Quincy are a great like pair in terms of their skills too. Like, they just work very well together.